What year is this?
What year do you think it is?
1996.
Do you think you're living in the future? What are you doing? Jen, stop it! What are you doing?
In the haunting final moments of Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys, a young boy witnesses a man being shot to death in an airport terminal. The look of horror and confusion on the child's face isn't just witnessing mortality for the first time. It's witnessing his own future death, creating one of cinema's most perfect tragic loops. This paradoxical moment encapsulates everything that makes 12 Monkeys extraordinary. It's a science fiction film that uses time travel not as an escape from fate, but as the very mechanism that ensures it. Released in 1995 during what would become a renaissance period for mind-bending science fiction, 12 Monkeys emerged alongside films that challenged audience perceptions like Strange Days and just before The Matrix would revolutionize the genre. Despite its relatively modest $29.5 million budget,
Cold. Stay alert. Keep your eyes open.
the film grossed an impressive $168 million worldwide, proving that audiences were hungry for science fiction that demanded intellectual engagement rather than just spectacle. What separates 12 Monkeys from countless other time travel narratives isn't just its refusal to offer easy solutions. While most films in the genre promise that changing the past can fix the future, Gilliam's masterpiece suggests a more unsettling possibility: that our desperate attempts to alter our destiny might be precisely what brings it about. Through its interweaving of memory, mental illness, and apocalyptic prophecy, 12 Monkeys transcends genre classification to become something far more profound, a meditation on the human condition itself, where our perception of reality might be as fragile as our grip on sanity. Terry Gilliam's distinct visual language is on full display in 12 Monkeys, where his signature techniques serve as more than stylistic flourishes. They're essential storytelling devices. The film's visual identity is characterized by extreme Dutch angles, disorienting fisheye lenses, and claustrophobic framing that mirrors James Cole's fractured mental state. These technical choices aren't merely aesthetic. They create a palpable sense of disorientation that puts viewers in Cole's position, never quite sure what's real and what's delusion.
We're gonna get along fine, just relax.
The film's production design by Jeffrey Beecroft represents a masterclass in world building on a limited budget. Rather than constructing elaborate futuristic sets, Gilliam and his team repurposed existing industrial locations, particularly in Baltimore and Philadelphia. The future world's underground habitats were filmed in an abandoned power station, while the mental institution scenes utilized the imposing architecture of Eastern State Penitentiary. This approach didn't just save money, it lent the film an authentic grittiness that CGI-heavy productions often lack. Cinematographer Roger Pratt, a frequent Gilliam collaborator, created stark visual contrasts between the film's timelines. The future scenes are bathed in cold, institutional blues and grays, often shot through wire mesh and barriers to emphasize humanity's imprisonment. Meanwhile, the present-day, 1990s sequences gradually transition from natural lighting to increasingly stylized visuals, as Cole's influence begins to distort Dr. Rayleigh's perception of reality. What makes 12 Monkeys a technical achievement is how seamlessly these elements support its narrative complexities. The production team created a visual grammar where recurring motifs, particularly animals, circles, and surveillance, appear across different timelines. Notice how the scientists of the future peer at Cole through round viewing ports that mirror the circular patterns in Dr. Goines' mansion and even the shape of Jeffrey's asylum cell window. These visual echoes reinforce the film's central theme that time is not linear, but cyclical, a prison from which escape may be impossible. Perhaps most impressive is how the film handles its time jumps, without relying on explicit visual effects or text overlays. Instead, Subtle design elements like costume deterioration, changing seasons, and architectural clues orient viewers within the complex timeline. This approach respects audience intelligence while maintaining the dreamlike quality essential to a story where the protagonist himself can't trust his own perception of when or where he is. 12 Monkeys features career-defining performances from its lead actors, each bringing unexpected depth to roles that could have easily fallen into sci-fi stereotypes. Bruce Willis, then primarily known for action hero roles in films like Die Hard, delivers perhaps the most vulnerable performance of his career as James Cole, deliberately stripping away his trademark smirk and swagger. Willis portrays Cole with a wounded, childlike quality, a man traumatized by both his apocalyptic future and his disorienting jumps through time. His physical transformation is remarkable: hunched shoulders, darting eyes, and a perpetual wince that suggests a lifetime of suffering. What makes Willis's performance so affecting is how he gradually reveals Cole's humanity beneath his survivalist exterior, particularly in his tender moments with Dr. Rayleigh. In stark contrast, Brad Pitt's frenetic turn as Jeffrey Goins earned him his first Oscar nomination and announced him as more than just a Hollywood heartthrob. Pitt's approach to Jeffrey's mental illness avoids caricature by grounding the character's mania in genuine intelligence and conviction. His now famous monologue about consumerism, "There's the television. It's all right there, all right there. Look, listen, kneel, pray."
There's the television. It's all right there. All right there. Look, listen, kneel, pray.
Delivers social commentary through a character whose mind moves too quickly for his mouth to keep up. Pitt reportedly studied in real psychiatric wards and incorporated physical tics and behaviors he observed, creating a performance that's both theatrical and painfully authentic. Madeline Stowe provides the emotional anchor as Dr. Catherine Rayleigh in what might be the film's most challenging role. As the audience surrogate who initially disbelieves Cole before gradually accepting his impossible story, Stowe must make this transition believable. Her performance is a masterclass in subtle transformation.
Turn right here.
Watch how her scientific skepticism gradually gives way to belief, not through dramatic revelation, but through accumulating doubt in her own certainties. The scene where she examines World War I photographs and discovers Cole's image is pivotal. Stowe conveys years of rational thinking crumbling in just a few silent moments. The film's most powerful scenes emerge from these character dynamics. Cole's initial confused arrival in 1990, where Willis channels both menace and childlike wonder. The intimate hotel room scene where roles reverse, as Rayleigh becomes the determined protector and Cole accepts his possible delusion. And of course, the devastating airport finale where all three storylines converge. What makes this last scene so impactful isn't just its circular narrative completion, but how it depends entirely on the emotional connection we've formed with Cole through Willis's performance. When he smiles, briefly experiencing happiness before his predetermined death, it's a moment of profound, tragic beauty that transcends genre expectations. These performances elevate 12 Monkeys beyond a clever science fiction concept into something deeply human. The film's central premise, that our fate may be predetermined, could feel cold and philosophical, but through these actors, it becomes an emotionally devastating exploration of human connection in the face of inevitable tragedy.
Who's actually here?
Upon its release in December 1995, 12 Monkeys received a decidedly mixed critical reception that highlighted the film's polarizing nature. Many reviewers praised its ambitious storytelling and visual style, but found the narrative unnecessarily convoluted. The Washington Post called it too complicated and ultimately too self-indulgent, while others struggled with its deliberate pacing and circular structure. Mainstream audiences similarly found themselves divided. Some embraced its intellectual challenges, while others, expecting a conventional Bruce Willis action film, left theaters confused and frustrated. What's fascinating about 12 Monkeys is how dramatically its critical assessment evolved over time. Films that initially challenge or confuse audiences often gain appreciation as viewers have time to process their complexities.
Yo, go! Yo!
But few have experienced such a complete critical rehabilitation. By the early 2000s, 12 Monkeys had already begun appearing on best sci-fi films lists, with critics revisiting it to discover layers and nuances missed in their initial viewings. Today, it's widely regarded as one of the most intelligent time travel narratives ever filmed, and perhaps Terry Gilliam's masterpiece. The film's most controversial element was undoubtedly its fatalistic conclusion.
Yes, my son.
While Hollywood typically rewards heroic characters who change their destiny, 12 Monkeys presents a universe where attempts to alter the future only ensure it happens as foreseen. This philosophical stance frustrated viewers accustomed to triumphant endings, but has proven to be the aspect most discussed and debated by film scholars. As audience appetite for complex, morally ambiguous storytelling grew in the decades following its release, the film's uncompromising vision became one of its most celebrated qualities. Rewatching 12 Monkeys reveals an astonishing attention to detail that rewards observant viewers. Consider the recurring animal imagery throughout, from the bears in Cole's dream, to the lion statues at the Goins mansion, to the zoo animals released by the army of the 12 Monkeys, each symbolizing different aspects of freedom and captivity. Or note how Dr. Peters, the true villain revealed only in the film's final moments, appears subtly in the background of several earlier scenes, including briefly sharing an asylum room with Cole. Perhaps most cleverly, the film features numerous instances of circles and spirals, clocks, the red bullseye logo, even the shape of the virus under a microscope, reinforcing the cyclical nature of time. Even the film's soundscape reveals hidden depths on repeated viewings. The recurring use of Tom Waits' Earth Died Screaming isn't just thematically appropriate. Its lyrics about strange animals and apocalyptic imagery directly parallels the film's visual motifs. Similarly, the prominence of Blueberry Hill connects to the scene where Cole misremembers lyrics, highlighting how memory itself is unreliable, a central theme of the narrative. What was once seen as a confusing science fiction thriller has gradually been recognized as a meticulously crafted puzzle box where every element, from production design to musical cues to background details, contributes to its thematic exploration of fate, memory, and madness. 28 years after its release, 12 Monkeys has proven to be one of those rare films whose influence and relevance have only grown with time. Its DNA can be found throughout contemporary cinema, particularly in films that explore the psychological and philosophical dimensions of time travel rather than just its mechanics. Christopher Nolan's Inception echoes its layered reality and ambiguous ending, while Rian Johnson's Looper directly references Gilliam's work in its treatment of a character meeting his younger self. Perhaps most directly, the 2014 to 2018 sci-fi television series Adaptation expanded the film's concepts into 4 seasons of intricate storytelling, finding new angles on the original's themes while honoring its circular narrative structure. Beyond its influence on filmmaking, 12 Monkeys has attained a disturbing prophetic quality in our post-pandemic world. The film's depiction of a virus that wipes out most of humanity, once safely in the realm of science fiction, now resonates with uncomfortable familiarity. Scenes of hastily established quarantine protocols, scientists in hazmat suits, and empty city streets have migrated from speculative fiction to documentary footage in our collective experience. Even the film's exploration of conspiracy theories, Jeffrey's ramblings about government plots and manufactured diseases, finds eerie parallels in our current information landscape where truth and fiction often blur. What makes 12 Monkeys eternally relevant isn't just its prescient plot elements, but its profound exploration of philosophical questions that remain unresolved. The tension between free will and determinism. Can we truly change our destiny, or are we merely fulfilling what was always meant to happen? Continues to fascinate because it speaks to fundamental human anxieties. Similarly, the film's skepticism toward institutional authority and scientific certainty feels increasingly aligned with contemporary discourse about who controls information and how much trust we should place in experts. Perhaps most poignantly, 12 Monkeys confronts us with questions about memory and identity that grow more relevant in our digital age. Cole's fragmented recollections and uncertain grasp on reality parallel our own struggles with information overload and manipulated media. When he asks, "How can I save you if I can't even save myself?" he articulates a universal human dilemma about our limited agency in shaping the future, whether personal or planetary. The film's greatest legacy may be how it transformed time travel from a genre gimmick into a profound metaphor for the human condition. We are all, in some sense, time travelers, haunted by memories of our past, anxious about our future, and struggling to remain present. 12 Monkeys suggests that while the loops of fate may be inescapable, the connections we form and the moments of beauty we experience within those loops still matter. When James Cole finally smiles in the airport, moments before his death, we understand that even in a predetermined universe, human emotion and connection retain their power. As we face our own uncertain future filled with environmental anxieties, pandemic threats, and technological upheaval, 12 Monkeys continues to serve as both warning and comfort, a reminder that even if we cannot change our collective destiny, how we face it makes all the difference. So what about you? Does knowing your future trap you into fulfilling it, or give you the power to change it? If you enjoyed this deep dive into 12 Monkeys, hit subscribe for more analysis of sci-fi classics that changed cinema forever.